Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I wasn't planning on getting back into my bees quite this quickly. Oh man, there's a bee right there with a bunch of pollen on its leg. That's awesome. I love it. But somebody gave me some tips, and I believe it's pretty sound advice. Oh man, even my small hive, they're bringing pollen in. That's great. But this smaller hive, the weakest hive, they suggested that I condense it to a smaller box, like a 2 to a 5 framer. So I got some 3 framers. And also, I might rotate these bottom boxes up, they said. If they're not down in the bottom box working, to move it up above the one that they were working in, because the bees like to move and work upwards. So, but they're bringing in pollen like crazy. It's awesome. I'm going to try to give you a close-up of that stuff when I get in here. Yeah, we're supposed to have a couple cool days, so it's going to be good to get that one in a smaller box and condense it down. So we'll see what goes on here. Okay, so I got my 3 frame box right here, and this is the weaker hive right here. So I'm going to get in here as quickly as possible and see about swapping these out. Yes, if I can get them condensed down, it makes a lot of sense to me. Whoever, I always forget who gives me tips and stuff. But if I get them packed into this one, there's only about 3 frames here, so I'm going to try to take the three good frames here that they're on. It'd be really nice if I find the queen and make sure she's in there with them. There's just a ton of honey in these boxes. Probably gonna just take these three frames right here. 1, 2, 3. It's got a ton of honey on it right here. Peeking for some eggs or a queen. Okay, neither right there. Put them right back in here in the same order. And I'm going to orient this box right beside the old entrance. There's some more larvae I see right in there developing. So and the capped off stuff is definitely worker bees. So there's got to be a laying queen in here somewhere. Right there she is. Awesome. Right there. I got the queen in there definitely. Excellent. Knew there had to be a queen in there. I'll move this third one over. They got 2 nice frames of honey here. There we go. Now, that's that. Okay, so the stuff I did today. Now I took this guy's advice. I pulled the 3 frames out of here. There's 3 frames right here. And I put them into that small nuke box. Whatever you want to call it, nuke box trap. And I also, this one I rotated the bottom box up to here and the middle box down. So there's a lot of room for them to work. They weren't doing much in the bottom box. Didn't see the queen in here. I did the same thing here. I rotated those 2 boxes. I did find the queen in here. So I took a frame out of here that had some eggs and some capped brood and stuff on it. And I brought it to this one. And I shook the bees into here. So I knew I didn't have my queen because I found her in there and isolated her. And I shook some bees into here, and the guy told me that the nurse bees will stay and the other foragers and stuff, they'll just go back to the hive. But the nurse bees will stay and help build up the population and keep the hive warm. I also leaned their original hive body here, this giant hive body, up here, and my hope is that come nightfall, close to night, there's very few bees crawling around in here. You can see the ones here bringing pollen in all over. That one right there has pollen all over it, and some of these are ridiculously covered in pollen. But there's a few bees right here. They're just there drinking that honey up, eating honey, and I need to get them to start going into this box. The queen's in here, so they'll eventually get in there. There's probably just still some of her leftover pheromones floating around in this box, and eventually all the workers and the foragers will get back inside that box. So hoping for the best here. If I can get all 3 of these kicking it, that'd be awesome. So thanks for the advice. I always get a kick out. I don't know why I find this fascinating, how much pollen they get on them. Some of them are just completely covered in it when they're coming in here. Like that one right there, he's got quite a bit on its back legs. There's one right there that's really covered. You see, that thing was completely covered in pollen. I'm not even sure where they're getting it from. No idea. All right, thanks again for checking out my channel, and thanks again for the tips.